Hi, I'm Coach Daniel. Welcome to Insomnia Insight number 339. And it is for anyone out there who has had racing, intrusive thoughts, that kind of never-ending stream, the bombardment of thoughts that you just cannot make stop. We're going to use a brand new analogy that I think is really, really helpful. And then we're going to see how, taking the teaching points from that analogy, how you can get to a place where you are not bothered by these intrusive, constant racing thoughts. So without further ado, let us proceed with our analogy. And I'm asking you to imagine the following. It is a nice day and you are deciding to take a little walk in your city. As you're taking the walk, you see a friend of yours, a little bit of a distance from you, but he is on his way to cross the train tracks, and you see that there is a train heading in his direction. You see that if he proceeds to cross, he's going to get hit by that train. Needless to say, you become very, very concerned, and you shout out to your friend, "Hey, watch out!" But guess what? Your friend just keeps on walking. So you shout even louder, "Hey, watch out!" This time, to your surprise, he actually puts his head, he covers his ears. He doesn't seem to want to listen at all. He just keeps walking. And then you pick up a pebble. You start throwing stones at him. You shout even louder. And finally, he turns around and say, "Hey, this is we're just in a movie set here. This is not a real train. Can't you see?" And when you look around, you see it. It is a movie set. There's the director, giving you kind of the eye, the angry look. And there's kind of like, the film crews there, etc. And you realize, oh, that's what it was. It wasn't even a real train. I get it. And now, of course, you no longer feel any need to shout or throw pebbles or get your friend's attention. Now, what makes you a little bit upset, though, is why couldn't your friend, immediately just have told you what was going on? Why that need to kind of ignore you and get you all worked up? That is our analogy. And now let's analyze this and see what's this analogy about. Okay, so in this analogy, you are the friend. You are the friend that's walking towards the train tracks. Now, the person that is you in the analogy, the person is shouting, that is your brain. Remember, your brain is a safety machine, a survival machine. Is always there to keep you safe. And that is what is happening when you have these intrusive racing thoughts. You often get this what if parade, like what if this happens? What if that happens? Well, what are you going to do if this happens? What if that? And particularly at night when you're about to go to bed. And now what the brain is doing that, it's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to make you see all the potential problems that you may have. It could be anything, but in terms of insomnia, it's often related to sleep. What if you lose the ability to sleep? What if your medication stop working? What if you can't function tomorrow? What if you lose your job? What if this, what if that? And that is very unpleasant. It is very unpleasant for a very obvious reason. Your mind thinks there's something to worry about, and it wants you to be really uncomfortable, so you take action and you take care of this problem. But the thing is that there is actually not a real threat out there. The mind is getting all worked up for these perceived threats. So naturally, you don't actually want to hear about it. You kind of want to make it stop. In fact, you cover your ears. You may take a walk, you do some meditation, you take some medication. You just don't want to hear all these thoughts. And then your brain goes, "Why aren't you listening? Don't you understand? This is really, really important." And then it just becomes more set on making you understand that there's something you got to take care of here. There's something really, really problematic that is heading your way. Now, this is why you have these racing, intrusive, worrisome, anxiety-filled thoughts that just keep coming. The reason you have them is that you are, as far as the brain is concerned, that you're not listening. You're trying to control them. You're trying not to have them, etc. So now that you see this, it is pretty easy to see how you can get to a point where you are not bothered by this constant stream of thoughts. And so there are 3 ways. I'm sure there are many more than this, but the 3 ways that I picked today to show the brain that you are listening. So let's go through them. I think the third one is the most effective way. So I'm kind of like sharing that. So we have a little build up here towards the third one. The first one, though, very good one too. This is downloading your thoughts. And what I mean by that is something very, very practical. You know, pick a time. Let's say you pick 5 p.m. And at that time, you give yourself 5 to 10 minutes, not too much, you know, something like that, 5 to 10 minutes, where you write down with a pen and a paper all the things that you tend to worry about, all those thoughts, the content of those thoughts, you know, just to write them down without having to do anything further. Just write them down. That in itself is very therapeutic. Something becomes more tangible. But most importantly, when you do this over time, you're showing your brain that you are listening. You know, you may not agree that there's any problem, but you are listening. Super, super important. And nothing's gonna, if you do this today, not much is gonna change tonight or tomorrow. But if you do this like an exercise, day in, day out, then you will see that your brain, when it knows that you're listening, doesn't feel a need to nag you, bombard you, and shout. Okay, so that is number 1, a thought download. Number 2, verbalizing your thoughts without judgment. And this is, you know, very much like a mindfulness type thing, an ACT or ACT type thing, where you verbalizing them out loud. But I was thinking more actually verbalizing them like in your mind, just like as the thoughts pop up. What if this? Then you just say, okay, I heard you what you're saying. You said, what if that? Okay. And then wait for the next one. Okay, what if this? Okay, I heard it. You know, you just, without judgment, you just, you know, you try to not say, why is this thought happening? Why am I thinking that, etc. You just verbalize them. This is happening. I'm thinking this and that. Another good way of showing the brain that you are listening. And then number 3 here is going in your mind where these thoughts are, where they're warning you not to go. So for example, if you have a thought that is, you're going to lose your job. If you're not going to sleep better, you're going to lose your job. That's going to happen. You're going to lose your job. Then you go there in your mind. You actually imagine losing your job. It sounds like just a thought is kind of anxiety producing, but provoking. But you'll see that this can be super effective, because if you're going there in your mind, if you actually imagine your boss calling you, having you sit down, telling you you lost your job, and then you imagine how you feel about that, and you imagine what you do next, etc., then guess what? You have truly, 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 truly shown your brain that you're listening. Not only have you shown that you hear what it's warning you about, you are willing to go there in your mind. You're willing to imagine that. And when you can do that, then you know you're sending the brain a strong message that, hi, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not poo-pooing what you're saying. I am listening. And when that happens, magic happens. Then the brain feels no need. Just like you know, in the analogy, when your friend told you there's nothing going on here, we're just shooting a movie, and you're like, oh, okay, I don't need to shout at all, you know. So I hope this analogy was really, really helpful. I think it's an important one. You're probably going to hear me repeating it. It's becoming. I feel that this is going to become part of my my repertoire when we talk about thoughts, racing thoughts, intrusive thoughts, etc. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to say, if anyone has a question, leave a comment, or as always, questions@thesleepcoachschool.com. If anyone needs a little bit more coaching, support, accountability, etc., you're very welcome to download Bedtime from the App Store, where I do coaching. With that said, again, look forward to having you here very soon. Tomorrow we have a special guest from the channel who is going to share how she's doing. I think she's doing really well. So I think we're going to learn a lot that could be helpful to you from her. And Friday, of course, we have open class at 2 p.m. So look forward to having you here very soon. And until next time, take it easy. Bye-bye.